Welcome to another episode of our cybersecurity conversations. In commemoration of Eswatini's National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we are still in October and it's Asipepeni, Secure Our World. Today is a conversation as in a one-on-one with Secretary General for Eswatini's Commission for UNESCO. She will tell us a bit about how UNESCO gets involved in terms of the topic that we're talking about today. But as we get to raise awareness on Emaswati being safe while using the internet and also avoiding some of the risks that are out there, today we are tackling the problematic issue or the concerning issue of cyberbullying. Welcome. Would you please introduce yourself and just link us to UNESCO and the conversation on cyberbullying?
Thank you very much, Fisiwe, and thank you for having me. So I am Lwanjes Melane, as you've rightfully said. So UNESCO's core mandate is building peace in the minds of people and a healthy world through education, culture, science, information, and communications. So how we come into this program is that firstly, we are concerned for children and youth. And we do have a program called Connect with Respect, which speaks to anti-bullying. So that is why this partnership with ESICOM comes at a very good time for us.
Thank you, Lwandle. Thank you for that nice introduction. It's a lot of things I believe that UNESCO is working on. For today's conversation, I just want us to speak to the issue of cyberbullying. Maybe as a start, let's define what cyberbullying is, because it's a word that we use, randomly at any point in time, but we may not necessarily be understanding exactly what cyberbullying is. So would you please just define it for our viewer so that we better understand even before we discuss the other details around it?
So cyberbullying has to do with abuse in the cyberspace, in the digital space. We know bullying happens sometimes physically, but this time around, we're talking the internet, we're talking social media, whereby people really, if you start to infringe with someone's dignity, human rights in the digital space, that is cyberbullying. There are many complex to it, from pictures, from pornography, from posting pictures without asking, screenshots. It's a lot of things, which is why it's crucial that we really educate people, because sometimes people do things innocently. So it's important to have that knowledge and that fine line of making fun, and then, which is a fine line between cyberbullying and just having a good time. So really, it really is abuse.
To our viewer, what are some of the everyday things that we do that may actually qualify as cyberbullying when it comes down to it? Like, we just do it so casually, but if someone were to take offense or even take action, they would actually get us into trouble because we have indirectly or unconsciously cyberbullied them.
So one of the things typically, one of the things I've noticed is people at parties taking videos and pictures and posting that, and some people are in a compromising situation, and that is cyberbullying in a sense. Those things go out there. They can even, people have lost jobs. The insults, some people think they're joking. If you talk about, I've noticed people are talking about weight, people's skin, those little things can really manifest into cyberbullying. I can actually take action, yeah.
For the campaign this year, there's also been a lot of school visits that are meant to speak to the issue of cyberbullying amongst young people. And UNESCO has partnered with ESICOM to also work on a campaign against cyberbullying. When you visit the schools and you speak to the students, what are some of the issues that they point out that actually make the situation worse? What are they seeing in the schools that is happening around cyberbullying?
Actually, it's very shocking, and it's been such a realization. We knew, obviously, when we partnered that we do have a problem and it will be on the rise. I mean, we are in the digital space, so we need to be proactive and ensure that our young people are safe. And one of the key things that we've observed during the school visits is that really most young people have experienced bullying from their classmates. Sometimes it's just a picture. I know there was a recent case in one of the schools in Manzini. And those are the things that are there. Some of them are not even reported. So you can imagine what kind of a problem we have. So these students are abused in the cyberspace by their colleagues, by learners. And sometimes even parents jokingly posting their children. So we need to think about this. But I think this campaign really speaks to that. When you have knowledge, you make better decisions. So that's why it's important for us to raise this awareness to these young people.
Okay, so as a parent or as an educator, how do I spot that my child could potentially be a victim of cyberbullying or could be a cyberbully themselves? What are some of the things that I should look out for? What are some of the small hints, subtle hints that would actually point to a bigger problem around cyberbullying?
Yeah, so cyberbullying has a lot of impacts. Mental health. You can observe someone's mood changes and some of them become violent. They become sad, cornered, the marks drop, which is why parents and teachers really need to be observant. We need to be vigilant. With cyberbullying, it's different. It can happen, I always say this, it can happen whilst you're sitting with your child in the same room, opposite each other. Your child could be experiencing bullying. And so we really need to observe their behaviors, their marks, you know. Uyatibuta sekwentekani sibaphosta isithombe sakhe uyabona so uyahlazeka tonke leti info leti kufuna sibuke sibatali nabothishela sisonzele kubamfabethu.
So if I've now picked it up, whether as a teacher amongst my students or even as a parent amongst the kids that I'm taking care of, what steps do I now take? Where do I go? Who do I call, speak to around reporting this issue?
There are many ways to report it. We do have the DPM's office. You can report it at the school to find out. And I really urge parents and school teachers to not take things lightly. Yes. Sometimes we do get people being told, toughen up. Please take it up. Sometimes you really need to go as far as getting counseling for your child. And in some instances, even changing the school might be something that is necessary, depending on how severe the case is. But I really want to urge Batali and teachers to not ever take these things lightly.
So what options are available for me as a parent who has now noticed that there's a problem with cyberbullying amongst the children that I take care of, or even as a teacher who has picked up some signs that there is some cyberbullying happening within my class, within my school? How do I then get help? What other avenues are available for those people?
So it's important, Fusiwe, to really take this very seriously. First of all, parents and teachers need to take it up. This becomes a psychological problem. So we do have avenues such as the DPM's office. Report to the teachers. Sometimes even take it as far as counseling. Let's not take it for granted. And go. Sometimes you really need to have that child change the schools, depending on how severe the incident is. Mm-hmm. But I really want to urge parents and teachers to never take it lightly. We see mental health deteriorating. It's on the rise. So these are some of the things that we should not take for granted.
Okay. Ngingumdali, ungumfu lomdzala. Nabo andi nabo mshana nabo labanye bamvana labangasiko bethu lesibanakako nebamva bethu. Yini le bakubuka kithi noma kumbe yini lengakwenda mina kuze kuthi ngilwe nalendzaba ye cyberbullying nje tento tam kuti phatha kwami because remember, as adults, we have a lot of influence as well. Bamfana babuka kithi. What are some of the things that we need to be careful of so that we basically avoid this problem getting bigger than it is now?
Yeah. I think more importantly, let's ignite the conversations. It's very important to talk about such issues. And fortunately or unfortunately, we are also on social media. We are on the internet as adults. And these children, this youth, these young people see us as well. So our behaviors, they really do impact. Cyberbullying. I think our behaviors are very important. Also igniting the conversations. Let's talk about these things. This is the digital era and we cannot run away. The internet is a good and a bad place. And they need to be aware through us. We are their voices. We are the young people's voices. And it's important that we nip it in the bud.
That's good advice. I believe that as the parents, we need to be good digital citizens, good role models to our children. So no body shaming, no homophobic statements, no statements that are meant to degrade or even insult or mess up the dignity of other people on the internet. That is what our children are copying. We are almost done. I think as a conclusion, I would like for you to share in terms of some of the initiatives that viewers out there can expect from this campaign that is coming up, the No to Cyberbullying campaign. So what are some of the things that UNESCO is going to be bringing into the education space to make sure that our children are empowered, but they're also protected from some of these vices, including cyberbullying?
Yeah. So, fortunately for us, we also work with culture. We recently had something on peace building, whereby we had young people write about how they promote peace in their communities, in their schools. So those are one of the initiatives. We've partnered with some of the organizations from the UN. And also, please look out on our pages. We do have courses. Look out for ethics. We do have recommendations on social media behavior, on how to behave on the internet. Please look out for that toolkit. And we also have the recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, because we are concerned. I mean, digital transformation, we cannot stop it, but let us be ethical whilst we're doing it and ensure, firstly, representation, ensure that there's, no bias in everyone. We take everyone along with us. Yes. So those are one of the initiatives. Please look out for the toolkits from UNESCO. We have very amazing toolkits. All you have to do is contextualize and implement so that you are good digital citizens.
That was a wonderful conclusion. It's Fisiwe Vilane, your host, signing out of our cybersecurity conversation. Thank you so much for being a good guest, co-host for the show today. We are still in the month of October, and our theme is Asipepeni, Secure Our World. We would also like to thank our sponsor, MTN FinTech, for actually sponsoring us with the venue and making sure that we can have our exciting recording on their premises. See you at the next episode of Cybersecurity Conversations.